check your quarters carefully. Rare state quarters and older Washington quarters can be extremely valuable. One coin that looks ordinary could be your hidden jackpot. The Washington quarter has been one of the most familiar coins in American history since its introduction in 1932. Originally struck to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1997, the design was already a staple in the lives of millions of Americans, seen daily in vending machines, parking meters, and cash registers. But within the vast number of quarters minted that year, a small handful stood apart, not because of their intended design but because of mistakes made during their creation. These errors transformed what should have been a simple 25-cent piece into a rarity worth staggering sums. For some collectors, the right 1997 Washington quarter can command between $44,000 and $110,000, a value that seems almost impossible to connect to a coin people casually drop into change jars. Yet this is the magic of numismatics. The ordinary can become extraordinary with the right mix of rarity and error. The 1997 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the San Francisco Mint producing proof versions for collectors. Tens of millions were minted, and nearly all of them circulated without a second thought. But among them were coins that bore minting errors, flaws that occurred when something went wrong during the striking process. These mistakes, rare and unintentional, are what make certain 1997 quarters valuable beyond imagination. Collectors are always on the lookout for these coins, scanning their details closely for signs of uniqueness. Error types are varied, and each tells its own story. A common but highly desirable one is the off-center strike, where the planchet or blank wasn't properly aligned when struck. The result is a coin with part of the design missing, leaving an oddly shaped and visually striking appearance. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin, especially if both the date and key design features remain visible. Another sought-after error is the double die, where the design elements such as Washington's profile, the date, or the words Liberty and In God We Trust appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die creation process. This doubling creates a bold, unmistakable feature that collectors prize. There are also wrong planchet errors, where a quarter was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination. For instance, a 1997 quarter struck on a nickel or dime planchet would be highly unusual and instantly valuable. For the 1997 Washington quarter, it is these rare mistakes that elevate its status. Without them, the coin is a common piece of American currency worth no more than 25 cents. With them, it becomes a treasure worth as much as $110,000. The sheer contrast between its face value and collector value makes it one of the most engaging pieces to talk about. For everyday people, the thought that a simple quarter from 1997 could be worth tens of thousands of dollars is both exciting and surprising. It's the kind of story that makes even non-collectors want to rummage through their spare change. The collector market thrives on such discoveries. When a 1997 era quarter comes up for sale at a major auction, it doesn't go unnoticed. Serious bidders enter the competition knowing full well how rare these coins are. A dramatic error in pristine condition can ignite a bidding war, with the final hammer price reaching into the tens of thousands. That's how we arrive at figures like $44,000 to $110,000, depending on the type of error and the condition of the coin. Mint state examples with clear, bold errors naturally bring the highest prices, especially when they are certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These grading companies authenticate the coin, assign a numerical grade to reflect its condition, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder, giving buyers confidence in its legitimacy. It is this combination of authenticity, rarity, and demand that drives the market for 1997 era quarters. While many people dismiss a small scratch or mark as simple damage, collectors know the difference between post-mint damage and true mint errors. Only those mistakes that happen during the actual production process at the mint have collectible value, and when they're dramatic enough, they can elevate the coin's worth to life-changing amounts. That's why education is so important in numismatics. Knowing what to look for can turn a casual discovery into a major financial windfall. The 1990s were also a transitional period in U.S. coinage. The Washington Quarter Series was nearing the end of its long run as the sole design before the 1999 launch of the 50-state quarters program, which would completely transform collecting by introducing 50 unique designs over a decade. This makes the 1997 quarter historically significant as one of the last issues of the classic Washington design before the state quarters captivated the nation. That added layer of historical context enhances its appeal, especially to collectors who focus on the Washington Quarter series as a whole. Owning an error coin from 1997 isn't just about having a rarity. It's about having a piece from the final chapter of an era in U.S. coinage. The market for rare coins has only grown over time, fueled by a blend of nostalgia, investment potential, and the thrill of the hunt. People have long been fascinated with the idea that coins in their pocket change could be worth fortunes, and stories of 1997 quarters selling for tens of thousands of dollars continue to inspire that fascination. For many, it's not just about the money but also about the adventure of discovery. Opening a bank roll of quarters and spotting something unusual, a misaligned strike, doubling on the lettering, or a coin that feels lighter or smaller than it should, is a thrill that never gets old. Collectors also appreciate the artistry of these coins. Even though the Washington Quarter was a familiar design by 1997, the way errors manifest makes each mistake unique. No two off-center strikes look exactly the same, no two double dies create the exact same doubling effect, and no wrong planchet coin will ever be perfectly identical to another. Each error tells its own story, making it more than just a coin. It becomes a one-of-a-kind artifact. That uniqueness is one of the strongest drivers of value. Over time, as more collectors compete for fewer surviving examples, prices for the 1997 error quarters have steadily increased. A coin that once might have been overlooked as a curiosity is now treated as a prized investment. And while not every coin from that year is valuable, the possibility that one might be hiding in plain sight keeps people searching. That constant sense of possibility is what makes coin collecting such a vibrant and enduring hobby. The true beauty of the 1997 quarter lies in its ability to surprise. For most people, quarters are nothing more than pocket change, tossed into jars or used for small purchases. But for collectors who know what to look for, the 1997 Washington Quarter represents potential. Potential for discovery, potential for history, and potential for extraordinary value. A coin that costs only 25 cents at face value could transform into a prize worth between $44,000 and $110,000. That leap is not just financial. It is also symbolic of the wonder that surrounds numismatics, so the next time you receive change, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Take a closer look at every quarter, especially those with the date 1997. Examine the strike, the lettering, and the details carefully, because within those coins could lie one of the most extraordinary errors of the Washington Quarter series, a coin that could bring not only financial reward but also a place in the incredible story of American coinage. The 1997 quarter stands as a reminder that history, rarity, and value can sometimes be found in the most unexpected of places, waiting quietly in the palm of your hand. The year 2000 was a memorable one in American coinage, particularly because of the ongoing success of the United States Mint's 50-state quarters program. This initiative, which launched in 1999, was designed to honor each state with its own unique reverse design on the Washington Quarter. By the time the Massachusetts State Quarter was released in 2000, collectors across the country were hooked, and Americans were eagerly checking their pocket change to see which new designs had entered circulation. The Massachusetts State Quarter quickly became one of the most recognized in the series, with its detailed depiction of the famous Minuteman statue set against the outline of the Commonwealth. But while billions of these coins were struck and used in everyday transactions, some of them carry errors so rare and unusual that their value has skyrocketed far beyond their face value. In fact, certain Massachusetts quarters from 2000 have sold for incredible sums, ranging anywhere from $40,000 to $105,000, cementing them as treasures of modern numismatics. The Massachusetts State Quarter was the first of 5 quarters issued in 2000, and its release was met with great enthusiasm. Designed by Thomas D. Rogers Sr., the coin highlights the state's Revolutionary War heritage. The Minuteman statue shown on the reverse represents the ordinary colonial militia who played such a crucial role in America's struggle for independence. Surrounding this figure is the outline of Massachusetts itself, along with a single star marking Boston, the state capital. The obverse retained the traditional portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, though slightly modified for the series. The design struck a patriotic chord with Americans, and because Massachusetts was the sixth state to ratify the Constitution, the coin carried a sense of both pride and history. Despite its symbolic and historical importance, the real fascination for collectors lies in the rare minting errors and unusual variations that occurred during the production process. The U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Massachusetts quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, but in such massive production runs, the possibility of mistakes was inevitable. These mistakes, while initially overlooked, have turned ordinary 25-cent coins into collectibles worth thousands, and in some cases tens of thousands. This is where the incredible valuations of $40,000 to $105,000 come into play. One of the most highly sought-after errors is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet is not seated properly in the press, causing the design to be misaligned. Depending on the degree of the off-center strike, the coin may show blank areas where no design was impressed, while still retaining the date and important details. Collectors especially value dramatic off-center strikes where the date remains intact, as these prove authenticity and rarity. Another major error category includes double die obverse or reverse coins, where doubling of the text or design elements is clearly visible. On the Massachusetts state quarter, doubling in the words Massachusetts, the Bay State, or even in Washington's profile would make a coin incredibly desirable, commanding huge prices when offered at auction. Another fascinating error is the wrong planchet strike. This occurs when a quarter design is mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a nickel or even a foreign coin. The result is a coin of unusual weight and size, instantly standing out to collectors. Massachusetts quarters struck on the wrong planchet are exceedingly rare, and when verified, their value can reach the upper end of that astonishing $105,000 range. Similarly, coins struck with missing clad layers, where one of the metal layers fails to bond, have also been documented. These coins appear with unusual coloration, often copper-toned on one side, and their distinctiveness makes them very popular among numismatists. Condition, as with all coins, plays a vital role in determining the value of a 2000 Massachusetts state quarter. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as Mint State 65 or higher are considered premium quality, with sharp details and original luster. If such a coin also happens to feature a dramatic minting error, the value skyrockets. This is why some Massachusetts quarters have stunned collectors when they appeared at major auctions, selling for prices many would never expect from a coin that was once worth only a quarter. Auction houses and private sales have documented instances of modern state quarters selling for tens of thousands of dollars, especially when the errors are bold and unmistakable. The Massachusetts quarter, with its patriotic design and release at the height of the state quarter craze, has been one of the standout issues. Stories of coins pulled from circulation and later graded as rare errors fuel the excitement of everyday people who begin checking their change more carefully, hoping to stumble upon one of these modern treasures. It is this possibility of discovery that makes the Massachusetts quarter so appealing. Anyone, at any time, could encounter a coin worth not just 25 cents, but a small fortune. The historical backdrop of Massachusetts adds even more depth to the story of this coin. The Minuteman statue depicted on the quarter stands at Concord, Massachusetts, forever reminding Americans of the sacrifices made during the Revolutionary War. To collectors, this connection between history, symbolism, and tangible coinage is compelling. Owning a rare Massachusetts era quarter is not just about financial gain. It's about holding a piece of history, tied both to America's fight for independence and to the modern era of coin collecting that captivated the nation in the early 2000s. The excitement surrounding the Massachusetts state quarter also reflects a broader trend in collecting modern coinage. For decades, older coins dominated the attention of collectors. Pieces like the Morgan silver dollar or the Buffalo nickel were the stars of the hobby. But with the release of the state quarters program, modern issues suddenly had widespread appeal. Families, children, and new collectors alike began filling coin folders and chasing each new release. The Massachusetts quarter, being one of the earliest in the series, holds a special place in this modern renaissance of collecting. When coupled with rare errors, its appeal goes beyond nostalgia, offering a blend of history, rarity, and value that few coins can match. It's important to recognize how dramatically the value of such coins can escalate. An ordinary Massachusetts quarter might be worth only face value, even in uncirculated condition, but introduce a striking error or unusual variation, and suddenly its value jumps into the tens of thousands. This enormous leap, from 25 cents to as much as $105,000, is what captures the imagination of both seasoned collectors and casual hobbyists. It demonstrates how coin collecting is as much about discovery as it is about history. Every coin has the potential to surprise, and every pocket of change could hide a hidden gem. Stories circulate of people unknowingly spending rare coins, unaware of their value, only for collectors or dealers to later identify them and realize their true worth. With Massachusetts quarters, this has happened as well. An off-center strike or missing clad layer coin ending up in circulation, only to be discovered by someone with a keen eye. These stories continue to fuel the passion for searching through everyday change, because treasures don't always announce themselves. They're waiting for someone observant enough to notice. For collectors today, the 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter remains a coin of interest not only because of its historical design but also because of the potential for extraordinary error varieties. It stands as a reminder that even in the age of modern minting technology, mistakes happen, and those mistakes create opportunities for collectors to own something truly rare and valuable. The fact that a small coin, minted in the billions, can occasionally be worth between $40,000 and $105,000 is both astounding and inspiring. So the next time you come across a Massachusetts State Quarter from 2000, don't dismiss it as just another common coin. Take a closer look. Study its details, its alignment, its coloration. You might just be holding a modern rarity, a coin that tells not only the story of America's revolutionary spirit, but also the story of how a simple piece of change can transform into a treasure worth more than most cars, vacations, or even houses. And for those who find one, the reward is more than monetary. It is the thrill of discovery, the joy of connecting with history, and the satisfaction of knowing that even the smallest coin can carry an extraordinary story. The U.S. 2015 Bombay Hook State Quarter Dollar is one of those modern coins that many people overlook, thinking it is just another piece of pocket change. Yet for collectors and those who understand the world of minting errors, it has become a fascinating treasure hunt. This coin belongs to the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021 and honored different national parks and historic sites across the United States. The Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware was chosen for the 2015 issue, and its design features a breathtaking image of great blue herons standing in the shallow waters of the marsh, a tribute to the beauty and serenity of this important natural habitat. At first glance, it is simply a modern quarter, but what makes it extraordinary is that certain error varieties from this release have been discovered, and some of them have commanded prices ranging from $34,000 to as high as $88,000. The design itself is captivating. On the obverse side is the familiar portrait of George Washington that has been used on quarters since 1932, modified over the years but still recognizable as the nation's first president. On the reverse is the Bombay Hook design by Joel Iskowitz, engraved by Phoebe Hemphill. The herons, calm water, and surrounding wetlands make this coin stand out among the series, giving it a peaceful yet majestic look. But when an error occurs during the minting process, even this tranquil design takes on new excitement, as collectors realize they are holding a one-of-a-kind piece. Errors are the lifeblood of many rare coin markets. They occur when machinery at the mint misaligns, malfunctions, or when something unusual happens with the blanks or dies. For the 2015 Bombay Hook Quarter, error types like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and missing elements have been reported. Each one tells its own story about what went wrong at the mint that day, and each one adds value because it transforms a common coin into a rarity point. One of the most desirable errors is the double die. If the die used to strike the coin was improperly hubbed, the result can be letters or numbers that appear doubled. On a 2015 Bombay Hook Quarter, collectors look closely at the inscriptions, especially "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. Doubling on these areas is dramatic and very noticeable, making it easy to spot even with the naked eye. Coins with strong double dies can bring eye-popping prices, especially if they are certified in mint state condition. This is the kind of error that could push the coin's value toward the upper range of $88,000 at auction. Off-center strikes are another attention grabber. If the blank planchet is not perfectly seated between the dies during striking, the coin comes out with its design shifted, sometimes leaving large blank spaces. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, provided the date is still visible. A 2015 Bombay hook quarter with a dramatic off-center error would not only be visually striking but also highly prized by error collectors, potentially reaching tens of thousands of dollars depending on its condition. There are also broad strikes, which occur when the retaining collar that normally holds the coin in place during striking fails. Instead of staying within the standard size, the coin spreads out, creating a wider, flatter appearance. A 2015 Bombay hook quarter with this kind of minting mishap is instantly noticeable and collectible. And while not as rare as an off-metal strike, a high-grade broad strike error can still climb into the tens of thousands, contributing to that $34,000 to $88,000 range. Off-metal strikes, though far rarer, are perhaps the most exciting of all. This happens when a quarter design is struck on a blank meant for another denomination, such as a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin blank. A 2015 Bombay hook quarter struck on the wrong planchet would be a showstopper at any auction, with collectors clamoring for the chance to own something so rare. These types of errors regularly command high premiums, easily reaching the higher levels of that impressive price bracket. Condition always plays a massive role in determining value. A coin with a dramatic error but heavy wear might still fetch a good price, but collectors are willing to pay far more for examples in pristine mint state condition. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on the Sheldon scale, assigning grades from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS67 or higher with a dramatic error would be a star in any collection, and such examples are the ones most likely to soar to values closer to $88,000. Collectors often share stories of finding these rare treasures in the most unexpected places. A 2015 quarter from Pocket Change, overlooked at first glance, may turn out under magnification to have a doubling or misalignment that elevates it from ordinary to extraordinary. Coin roll hunters especially enjoy searching through bank rolls of quarters in hopes of spotting one of these rare error types. The idea that a 10-cent roll of quarters could yield a single coin worth tens of thousands of dollars keeps the hobby alive with energy and excitement. The Bombay hook quarter also has an appeal that goes beyond the error itself. Because it is part of the America the Beautiful series, it carries additional historical and cultural significance. Collectors who focus on the series want to add each design to their set, but when they can obtain an error coin, it becomes a centerpiece. Owning such a coin is like owning a little piece of history that slipped through the cracks, a mistake that turned into a treasure. As time goes on, fewer and fewer of these error coins remain in circulation. Many have already been discovered and are locked away in private collections or sold at auctions. This shrinking availability drives values even higher as competition among collectors intensifies. That is why even modern coins like the 2015 Bombay hook quarter can reach the astonishing values of $34,000 to $88,000. The fascination with error coins lies in their uniqueness. Each one is different. Two off-center strikes may exist, but neither will look exactly the same. A double die might appear on multiple coins, but the strength of the doubling, the clarity of the details, and the grade of the coin all make a difference in its value. This uniqueness gives collectors the thrill of owning something no one else has, and that thrill is what drives prices so high. For anyone hearing about this for the first time, it may seem unbelievable that a 25-cent coin from 2015 could be worth more than a new car. Yet the numismatic market has proven again and again that rarity and demand are what dictate value, not age alone. And in the world of errors, a single mistake at the mint can create a coin that collectors will fight for at auction, driving prices into the tens of thousands. The 2015 Bombay hook quarter embodies that magic. It looks like an ordinary piece of change, but with the right error, it transforms into a highly coveted rarity. And because this coin is recent, it gives everyone hope that there may still be undiscovered examples out there, waiting to be found in jars, drawers, or bank rolls. Every time someone discovers a coin like this, it reignites the passion and reminds collectors why they love the hunt. For those who already own a 2015 Bombay hook quarter, it might be worth taking a closer look. Under a magnifying glass or with the help of a jeweler's loupe, small details like doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or strange shapes in the metal could reveal that what looks ordinary is actually extraordinary. And if you're lucky enough to uncover such an error, you could be holding a coin valued anywhere from $34,000 to $88,000. The story of this quarter is more than just about money. It is about the mystery and excitement of coin collecting, the surprises hidden in plain sight, and the thrill of discovery. From the calm waters of Bombay, Hook depicted on the coin to the chaos of a minting error. This coin brings together both artistry and rarity in a way that fascinates collectors worldwide.